Okay, so in this next episode, we're gonna be talking about the early church from the second century around the death of John to the, I believe the no, we'll go up to the fourth century before Nicaea. So, last time it was interrupted because apparently my friend's mom came in as we were recording, so we had to cut it. But sorry for that. But I'll cover the stuff we didn't go over last time. So, excuse me. I just ate. Sorry about that. Anyway, so I wanted to make mention last time. I mentioned how Saint Mark was a guy who, with Barnabas, went to Cyprus, and went off a little tangent about the other stories of the other characters, the more minor characters like Lazarus. The point I wanted to finish was that Saint Mark later became the Bishop of Alexandria. This would become a extremely important see or bishopric in church history, but we'll get to that eventually. So we arrive at the second century. The Apostle John has passed away, and now the early church has a very much more colorful era. The Bishop of Antioch his name is Ignatius. Now he was preceded by Evodius, who was the previous Bishop of Antioch, who was ordained by Saint Peter himself. Now, according to tradition, Saint Ignatius was he is called Theophorus, I believe, Ignatius Theophorus, because when he was a child, he was, it is said that he was one of the children whom Jesus himself held on his lap while he was teaching. If this is to be believed, then you might as well say that Ignatius was one of the kids, maybe the kid that Jesus had on his lap, as he said, suffer the children to come to me, and you know all that. So Ignatius, he's obviously an old man now, and he gets into trouble with the Roman officials because of his refusal to serve the Roman gods. You see, Emperor Trajan was visiting Antioch, and if I remember correctly, Ignatius was causing quite a stir because of his refusal to worship the gods and give honor to the Roman gods. And Trajan was angry, of course, and he was sent to Rome under a heavy guard to be fed to the lions for the amusement of the spectators. So Ignatius is taken away. He's bound and carried from his excuse me from his seat in Antioch, and he begins the weeks-long journey to Rome. Now, over the course of this journey, he is writing to several other churches. He is writing to the church in he writes 7 epistles, and he writes to the Magnesians, the Trellians, I believe the Ephesians. I'm not sure. You'll have to correct me on this. The Trellians, I don't know if I mentioned that before. The Romans, and there's several other churches, as well as another bishop, who is the bishop of the Church of Smyrna. His name is Polycarp. I'll go on a bit of a tangent here, but Polycarp was also taught by the apostles. He was taught directly by the apostle John, who wrote Revelation and the Gospel. That, of course, this is according to tradition. You can choose to believe this or not believe this, but Polycarp, he also writes a epistle, I believe, to the Corinthians. I'm not sure, but And back to Ignatius. In his letters, he basically exhorts all of the churches to just stand firm and teaches certain aspects of how the churches should be run. You can basically consider this a continuation of Paul's epistles. And it is from Ignatius that the term, excuse me, the term Catholic Church is first coined. Now, since this is addressing a Seventh Day Adventist audience, I must clarify that this does not necessarily refer to the Roman Catholic Church. That's probably going to be a misconception, but the word Catholic, in its original meaning, it means universal. So that means that when Ignatius is talking about the Catholic Church, he means the universal church, the global, the worldwide church, the church containing all of the believers of Christ. So, he teaches, he gives instructions to the churches on what must be done, and when he is writing to the Romans, because he suspects, or I think he knew that they were trying to organize this big rescue operation to save him from the lions. He writes to them to allow his martyrdom to proceed. That trying to save him is just gonna cause more harm. So they stand back and stand by, in the words of a certain guy that you probably know. And yeah, he is fed to the lions, and he meets a martyr's death as he wishes. And Polycarp later meets his death when he is. They first attempted to burn him, but when the fires were miraculously extinguished, they just stabbed him to death. And there is another apostolic father. His name is Clement. He wrote to the Corinthians that was basically admonishing them for some things they were doing. I'll admit I'll have to read. I have yet to read the full epistle, but yeah, Clement was also the Bishop of Rome. Keep in mind that I don't know if I don't think Clement ever established papal supremacy here. Papal supremacy, I don't think it was too much of a doctrine developed yet. I'm not sure. I'm not too well versed. This is just the basics. But yes, so Clement, Ignatius, and Polycarp, these are like the three musketeers of the Apostolic Fathers.